Okay,
Okay, we are recording.
we are.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tri-County September meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order with the first agenda item, which is the adoption of the agenda. Um, Madam Clerk, would you like to read the recommendation?
Recommendation is that Tri-County Water Board hereby adopts the agenda for September 30th, 2025 as presented.
Somebody be willing to motion that? Thank you, Mr. Hens, seconded by Mr. Statham. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Next item is disclosure of pecuniary interest. Anybody have any conflicts of pecuniary interest they'd like to share now or at a individual agenda time? I think that was just some background noise. Mr. Mayhew, can you hear us? Okay, I think that was just some background music or noise, so we could just kind of carry on from there. Everybody had the previous meeting minutes in the agenda package that was distributed by Terry. Does anybody have any errors or omissions prior to a recommendation to adopt those minutes? Okay, could I hear the recommendation, Madam Clerk?
That the Tri-County Water Board hereby adopts the minutes of July 15th, 2025 as presented.
Hey, have somebody motion that? Mr. Statham, and seconded by Mr. Pemberton. Thank you very much. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Any business arising from those minutes? Nothing at all. Okay. All right. Moving into agenda item number 6.1, staff reports, facilitator proposal for board discussion regarding a municipal service corporation governance structure. So those of you who were on the last meeting and the last few meetings know that we have been having some discussion about this, and we directed staff to do a little bit of research. Robin, would you like to speak to this?
First, I'll take myself off of mute. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Board, at your last board meeting, we had a discussion about continuing to proceed with the concept of or exploring the concept of a municipal service corporation. At that time, it was recommended to the board that we obtain a facilitator, and that facilitator could help in the discussions with not only the board, but your respective CAOs or CFOs or designated staff from your member municipalities. I have reached out to a few organizations, one being Mary Ellen Bench and the other being Strategy Corps. We are looking for someone who understands the municipal dynamic, has a good understanding of a municipal service corporation, and ideally also understands the laws around structuring corporations and the governance structure. I had preliminary conversations with Mary Ellen Bench. For those of you who do not know Mary Ellen, she has worked as a lawyer for most of her career. Most recently, she is consulting with Strategy Corps and also under her own consultancy agency, Bench Municipal Law. Mary Ellen Bench has proposed facilitated discussions or for this board to consider. Board, it's really getting an understanding of what are the goals of this board? What would you like to see this corporation in the long term? And then also understanding what is the level of responsibility you would like, if it were to move towards an MSC, what is the level of responsibility and sort of the corporate structures that an MSC can provide you. So Mary Ellen has given a brief outline of what a facilitated discussion could look like. For your understanding, her rate of service is $500 an hour. She proposes a cap of $10,000. Of such, that would be the pre-work that is required to be done, facilitated conversations, and then deliverables, which would be then proposing next steps. I only provided you with one option at this moment in time, be it that the other option that I've heard is Strategy Corps, and so I didn't assume that you would be getting much of a different layout or much of a different cost per hour. So with that, I'm just looking for direction from this board to proceed with engaging with Mary Ellen Bench and setting up the process in place so we can begin this discussion.
Thank you, Robin. All right, so fellow board members, you've seen the agenda package and you've heard what Robin has outlined for us. Does anybody have any questions about this particular item? Any questions, any concerns, any thoughts? Yes, Councillor Galbraith. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. As most of you may know, we're going through governance review with Chatham-Kent Public Utilities Commission. It was status quo, Municipal Service Corporation, go back to municipality as a silo within there, governed by 18 councillors, or a hybrid, which is elected officials and subject matter experts. So we've had one meeting since we've had all the councillors, commissioners, and stakeholders meetings, and it's really come down to it's going to be Municipal Service Corporation or the hybrid board. But in my talking with the CAO of Mapleton, they moved to Municipal Service Corporation, and what their understanding is through his conversations with Minister Surma and Minister Flack is that they seem to be moving towards Municipal Service Corporation. So the pilot right now, I reached out to Minister Surma's office, and a person got back to me and said they're piloting Peel right now. So it seems like that is the direction that things seem to be going. We may be, the Tri-County, we may be moved in that direction anyways at the end of the day. So, and I'll just share with this group, I think I've shared with Robin what our cost was for this governance review, and it was 78,000. And that was the lowest one, and they had the best score. There was obviously other ones that were much higher. So that's kind of what I know what's going on in Chatham-Kent, and what I kind of know what the province is kind of looking at.
Thank you, Councillor Galbraith. Robin, you have a comment on that?
Thank you, Darren, for providing that. So board, so for your understanding, the cost of this proposal is just for the facilitation, so the board can start to set its directions and understand if a municipal service corp is in its best interest and how that might start to lay out. Once we get to the point where the board wishes to proceed with the municipal service corporation, there will be some additional financial costs in setting up the corporate structure, which is looking at sort of the policies and governance structures. And so, yes, that would be on top of what I am proposing today. It is my understanding that the province is very much encouraging the municipalities to explore and to move towards an MSC model. Right now, they are looking at Peel, and then they have 5 pilot municipalities. Ultimately, they're playing with the concept of whether there would be one municipal service corporation in Ontario. So think hydro. They understand that's quite a large undertaking. And so probably looking at dividing it into quadrants. At this moment in time, it is a recommendation and an encouragement, but it is still the decision of local municipalities or local area boards to consider MSCs. Right now, it is not sort of a forced march, though the direction is leading.
Robin, because it is at this point it's voluntary, and as Councillor Galbraith mentioned, it may become something mandatory. Are there any grants or incentives out there to assist with the exploratory work of looking at these MCSs that you know of?
Not that I have seen. Amanda and I spoke with Jim Pines and one of the leads from LSC. So LSC is the financial arm of AMO, and they are taking the lead on the project of exploring because they have petitioned the government. AMO or LSC has petitioned the government to allow a MSC to act as the maybe administrator, and so they're taking the work. One of the things the board can do is we can just sort of slow our roll and follow in behind. So any of the work that they are doing, we might be able to take advantage of. But right now, the government hasn't been providing anything as an incentive for this type of work.
Thank you. Anybody else? it's kind of a double-edged sword. You can slow the roll and hope that the support comes, or we can be proactive and move forward in the hopes that we get through the gate before there is a forced requirement to go this way, and put ourselves in a position where maybe there would be some opportunities for granting because we took the initiative.
Right now, if I might, Mr. Chair, I think one of the benefits is for the Tri-County Water Board needs to be able to set sort of what its direction is. Since I've been with the board, understanding you're wanting to see expansion of your client base, and then also is there expansion within our neighboring municipalities. That then is going to take dollars. And the structure we have right now, those dollars are going to come from the member municipalities. So the concept of moving towards an MSC was one, to be able to access probably future capital, in that you would not, then the capital costs would not be coming in divided amongst member municipalities. The MSC would be able to hold its own capital if we were able to establish ourselves as a government enterprise. So right now, I think that's the direction for the board to understand is what is the scope, what is your future direction, and what is the best type of structure for the board in order to achieve it.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Councillor Pemberton.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I guess I just want to kind of echo what Robin was just kind of saying. I think it's a good idea to get the information in front of us and understand and present back to all of our councils kind of the direction the board decided they wanted to go, what the advantages and disadvantages are, and get a full understanding of it. As we've all seen, if we're not, for lack of a better term, shovel ready, there may not be some opportunities out there for us. So I think looking into this and getting ready for it, if that's the way the province wants everybody to head, is a good idea. I think it's a fair price to get enough information so that we can make informed decisions, because we want to be informed and know both sides of it. I guess the only question I have is the board has looked into it in the past about becoming a municipal service corporation. So there may be some information out there. It was before my time. So maybe other members might have more information about that, but there may be some information already available that we could share with Mary Ellen Bench. That I don't know that would save us any money, but it may help in some of the decision making and some of the information gathering. So I guess I would just say if there was some stuff from the past that we could share with her, then we should probably look at that.
Thanks, Corey. Mayor Hans.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I fully support heading down this path. Yeah, $10,000 isn't pocket change, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's well worth getting the information we need to make informed decisions. My discussions with the province is, yes, these types of things are coming. They're pointed in that direction, and they've made announcements to that effect. So let's get fully informed, and that's the only way you can make these decisions. Not an easy one, but I also, Robin brought up the point about financing. We know we have some big items in the near future, and it would be a struggle to aid knowing my municipality's financial situation. So I fully support heading down this path, and I would move that we do so.
Thanks, Mike. Sam, anything from Aqua's perspective on this?
Not much to add, Mr. Chair. There's, this has been a discussion for a long time. I can comment that it's never made it this far, so I commend the board to continue to kind of push and educate themselves on what this might look like. Like Mr. Hen said, there is some big expenditures coming, namely what we decide to do with the standpipe in West Lorne. That's whether it's replacement or refurb, we're talking north of $2 million, and the board has been saving for this, but I think it would be a lot easier if they had the ability to borrow or be able to pick away at some of the funding that's been available. Mr. Ford has announced another like $2 billion to the housing fund. We could try to go for that, but at this point right now we're not unable to. So I think for what the operational budget is and what the capital budget is of this water treatment plant, a $10,000 cap on investigating how this would work and getting some professional advice from a lawyer and somebody that's sounds like from what Robin has put in the agenda, somebody that's experienced in this. It's not a big expenditure when it comes to the grand scheme of things to find out what you could possibly gain from this, or maybe this isn't the direction. Maybe this lawyer can point you in a different direction. But I attended AMO, and it was a big topic of these municipal services boards, and it kind of sounds like they're going to push you anyways. So getting in front of it might be a good idea. Aqua, that's been Aqua's position for quite a few years. I look back at Dale. We've had these conversations for years. We've had the gentleman from Union Water come and present. They're really doing good things at Union Water. So I don't have a vote, but I fully support this initiative, and I think Robin and Amanda are really spearheading a good push. This has never really been pushed this hard, and I think it's good that it's being pushed this hard. That's my opinion. That's Aqua's opinion.
Thank you, Sam. Robin.
So board, while the recommendation was to proceed, down in the financial implications section of the report, it did noted that I would need some direction from the board on how you would like to fund if you wish to proceed with this stage of the project. There is some money in your reserves. You are certainly saving up towards refurbishment of the standpipe. There is some money there. The other option is that each member municipality would contribute to the cost, and then we would be by the division of the ratio that we divide costs going further. So the board may want to have some conversations around how you would like this to be funded.
Thanks for that, Robin. And that's not something that we need to decide tonight.
If I might, Mr. Chair, I would like to have a direction from this board because the bills come in and I need to pay them.
With regards to the recommendation that we're going to review here in a minute, you're looking for a recommendation to engage Mary Ellen. But what I meant was the second thing, the estimate you're looking for an approval for an estimated cost for the assessment of the Tri-County water system?
So this report has a recommendation to move forward with engaging Mary Ellen Bench. What I did not put in this recommendation, but would look for some direction from the board, is how you wish, if you say yes, you would like to proceed, then I would just need to understand how the board would like to pay for that. There are some funds within your reserves. Your reserves have enough to cover the upset cost. That's one way the board can handle this. The other way is when it comes in, West Elgin as the administrator could then bill back each member municipality at the ratio of how we divide costs. So it's whether you want to take this money from the reserves of the Tri-County Water Board or whether you would like to pay your proportionate share out of your own funds.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. Councillor Pemberton.
Thanks, Chair, and through you. Yeah, I guess my recommendation or my point would be I would say let's go through reserves at this point in time. I don't feel comfortable saying let's bill back to municipalities without going back to council and having a discussion with them. I think everybody's kind of in the same boat. We haven't budgeted for this at this point in time. But if we have funds in reserve to use, it's not something we couldn't ask for in the future for other councils to budget for next year. But if we're looking for an answer for for tonight, and we do have enough in reserves to start moving forward. I would suggest that we use reserves and move forward with that.
How's everybody feeling about that thought?
I agree.
Okay. Councillor Statham and Deputy Mayor Tellier, either of you have any thoughts on this? Haven't heard from you yet.
Through you, Mr. Chair, how much are we talking about? Sorry, an exact dollar amount. How much are we talking about pulling out of reserves? Sorry, I might have missed that.
If I may, Mr. Chair, Councillor Statham, Mary Ellen Bench is $500 an hour, but she did set an upward cap of 10,000.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so we would not exceed that amount.
Okay, I'm comfortable pulling that out of a reserve fund.
Thank you, Councillor Statham. Deputy Mayor Tellier.
Good evening. Thank you for that, through the chair, and thank you to our CAO for the report, such a detailed report. I'm comfortable with also pulling that from the reserves. Just wondering if you can remind us of the ratio that each municipality has a portion to.
Oh, Councillor Tellier, if I could email that to the board. I know West Elgin has the largest proportion of the ratio. It's based on the number of users within the system. So I believe West Elgin has the largest ratio at like 43%. Please don't quote these as exacts. Then Southwest Middlesex, followed by Dutton Dunwich. And then of course we have Chatham-Kent and Newbury that would take a smaller ratio. But I know West Elgin has the largest proportion at 43%.
Yeah, I have something in my brain. Once again, don't quote me.
Yep.
43, 23, 18, like, yeah, something
Mhm.
along those lines. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Teresa. Councillor Statham. Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Through you, Mr. Chair, how much is in the reserve fund?
I just had the number up today. The board has been saving up towards their big capital repair cost. And so I was looking at a little bit of the buffer, and I believe you have about 200,000 that could be a residual buffer without having an impact on the amount that you're saving towards the repair replacement of your standpipe.
Perfect. So $10,000 is not really going to touch that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I was being careful to find out that you would have room and flexibility to do so.
Okay. All right. So anybody else have any other comments? It appears as though we have consensus on this, that we are feeling comfortable with having our clerk in a moment here read the recommendation to move forward with contracting out Mary Ellen Bench to be a facilitator to begin this journey and to draw up to $10,000 in funds from our Tri-County Reserve in order to cover those costs. Oh, Mayor Mayhew has a comment. Oh, he's having some technical issues, and he's working on continuing to resolve the issue. So
Does Mayor Mayhew have any concerns? Maybe you could type that in.
if you could hear that, Mr. Mayhew, Mayor Mayhew, if you do have any concerns, feel free to take a moment and type them in. Or just a
Chair,
thumbs.
Don McCollum is also, I can see he's online. Don, I need you to accept the promote to panelist if you want to be able to speak, or we can hear you or hear you or see you if you do have any concerns. You can also type in the chat as well.
Not seeing anything forthcoming.
Amanda, I'm not sure if you wanted to add anything as well from Southwest Middlesex.
Hi, board. Thank you, Terry, through you, chair to the board. So as we know, as a staff person, I do not speak on behalf of our council. From a staff perspective, though, I would like to reiterate support for the work Robin's done here and the proposal. And again, from a staff and operations perspective, we do not have our 2025 budget allocating the funds for this review right now. So taking from reserves from Tri-County, I think operationally for Southwest Middlesex would be our preference unless otherwise directed by our members of council.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Amanda,
Terry.
for that. And we got a message from Mayor Mayhew who said, "I'd like to proceed as the panelist has spoken. Sustainability is my primary concern. We must move forward with change." Any word from Councillor McCollum?
There's nothing in the chat, and he's not on as panelists.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I think we can. Oh,
Yeah.
there's Don. Don just popped up there a moment ago. Hi, Don. Anything to add? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you be so kind as to read the recommendation?
The recommendation is that Tri-County Water Board hereby receives the report from Robin Greenall, Administrator for the Tri-County Water Board, and that the board approve the recommendation to engage Mary Ellen Bench as a facilitator for board discussions regarding a municipal service corporation governance structure funded by the Tri-County reserves.
I have a motion. Mayor Hens, thank you very much. Second, Councillor Pemberton, thank you very much. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, if any? It's carried. Thank you very much, Robin and Amanda and Terry and Sam, for your perspectives as we've done something very historic here tonight. So thank you for that. Robin, do you have your hand up still? Do you have?
Yes, I may. Just before you proceed to adjournment, board members, I will reach out to Mary Ellen Bench and start to organize a facilitated meeting. I'll reach out to your respective administration to find out prospective dates. With the board, I would encourage the board that we try to do this before the end of the year, in that depending on the board's direction, there could still be some heavy lifting, and we may want to try to get the majority of that done before we find every member municipality with new councils. So at least we either have this direction set or we at least have good groundwork for oncoming board members.
Great point. Thank you. And with one of the upcoming meetings being tentatively budgeted in November, it might be helpful to have some further information in front of us as we're making those decisions. And on that note, you'll note in your agenda that the next two meetings, Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, and Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. And with that, I would ask our Madam Clerk to read the final recommendation for adjournment.
We did have one other item on the agenda, Robin. It was item 6.2, estimated cost for an assessment of the Tri-County water system.
I did not put that on.
Okay. So I'll
For another
remind-
time.
Yeah. So before we adjourn, are we sticking with it with an October date?
Everybody's okay with those two dates? Corey, you okay with that?
I guess first off, I wouldn't be available October 21st, but I guess I'm just questioning, do we need two meetings that close together, or could we just push everything to the November 18th meeting?
Sam. You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Aqua, I know the budget can be a lengthy meeting, and Aqua does have some items that we would like to present. Stacking them up against the budget and the financials might be a little much. I'm not sure what administration of the board thinks, but we do want to present a bit of a briefing on the geosmin and yellow water from this year, and also our operations report, including generator runtimes and things like that. We are prepared to do that in October. And also, I'd like to present an updated SCADA and cybersecurity roadmap in October. So we're looking at a fairly lengthy agenda on our end, and then to stack it up against the financials might be a little much, but I'll leave that up to the board to decide.
Thank you, Sam. So, what do you think, Robin? Should we stick with that meeting?
I would recommend the board stick with the proposed schedule. At this moment in time, West Elgin is without a treasurer. I do have some assistance and support. So if anything, I may have to bump back your budget meeting, bump that back probably to beginning of December. But right now we are continuing to work towards the November date. And I agree with Sam with the other reports that we know that would be coming up for the board. It would probably be a little overwhelming and a lengthy meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. And thanks for letting us know, Corey, that you're not available on that date. Is anybody else not available on that date? Okay. If everybody else is available, I think we might as well just stick with it. And I know you'll be there in spirit, Councillor Pemberton. Okay. So the adjournment recommendation.
That the Tri-County Water Board hereby adjourn at 7:32 p.m. to meet again at 7:00 p.m. on October 21st, 2025. We're at the call of the chair.
A motion. Thank you, Councillor Statham, seconded by Mayor Hentz. All in favor? Carried. Thank you to each and every one of you, and I hope the rest of the evening is a good one. We'll see you in October.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.